Today we are going to cover troubleshooting short shots and no fills. If you're like me, when I was just getting into process adjustment, mind you this was years ago, but I too fell victim to what I call the quick fix scenario. It's a trap that's easy to fall into when you're first starting out and have several machines calling out for your attention. The problem is that once you start this chain of events, you may find yourself caught in an endless loop. Within the quick fix scenario, you may find yourself running around in circles fighting never-ending reoccurring defects, and with every adjustment, you will find yourself further away from your desired process. Stop the madness. Let's avoid this never-ending circle. This is how you do that. It's important to understand that what worked at one workstation may or may not work at another. It is also important to pay close attention to what's going on with other processes that may be using the same material, mix ratios, pigments, and any other similar characteristics within the processes, but we will cover that in another section. For now, let's stop the madness. It's easy to just want to add a bit of pressure or tweak a setting real quick. Watch a couple shots and say problem solved, only to find yourself right back where you started in the first place a few moments later. The problem is, you're not back where you started, and now you have a changed process. And this can become a compounding factor until you reach what I call the point of no return. Without the proper troubleshooting disciplines, you will most certainly be defeated before you ever have a chance to correct the issue. Use caution when evaluating a process issue, and you can avoid this entire circle. No technician wants to see a collective of faulty product piling up for many reasons. But the reality is that the quick fix may cause more product loss in the long run than if the technician had simply waited, watched, evaluated, and inspected before they started twisting knobs. When you approach a workstation as a technician, this is what should be happening. Number 1. Observe. I cannot stress the importance of this simple function. This will save you potentially hours of frustration. Many times you're going to find that the problem can be solved without ever changing a setting. Check your material. Is it dry if it requires drying? Is the mix ratio correct? Check your temperature profile. Is it correct? Most important of all, check for material leakage. Watch your process for several cycles and inspect it for consistency. In many cases, you are going to see the problem by the time you have completed these basic checks. Find the root cause. Do not just tweak a setting and call it done. When adjusting any process, information is the key. Follow these steps, and the machinery in many cases will tell you exactly what you need to do to solve the issue. And a lot of times you're going to find you didn't need to change a setting, especially when the process has been stable for some time and all of a sudden you have a problem. This should be your first red flag. Don't overlook the mold design either. Sharp corners or inadequate venting can trap air and prevent the material from completely filling the cavity. The key to being successful is finding the root of the problem, so if an adjustment needs to be made, it will be the correct one. Many other factors can come into play with this issue, but now you have some basic starting etiquette that will save you hours of frustration over your career. Make the right choices the first time. Let the machine talk to you. In the end, you'll be glad you listened.